Hello, I am Radames Castro Rivera. On this occasion, I will explain the didactics of grammar and its definition applied to the underlying concepts in order to understand the present of the development of the linguistic interactions. I would like to start by defining grammar as a starting point. Grammar is the art of speaking and writing correctly. Therefore, teaching the value and craft of words, the way to form sentences with them, and how to pronounce and write all of these interactions. These definitions revolves the words as the main vehicle of language. Grammar systematically studies the kinds of words, the possible combinations among them, and also the relationship between those experiences and the meanings, and as the combinations and uh, all of the aspects that come out when we use like a diverse grammar. Therefore, there are several types of grammar. The role of grammar in the teaching of foreign language has given a rise respect to antique positions, because before some teachers maintained the idea that it is necessary to avoid grammar as much as possible, since the important thing is the students to be able to express meanings, whether grammatically or not. And some others consider that the study of the grammar of the target language is essential, because it's going to contribute to develop the students' ability to communicate and to transform the language. In other words, they acquire communicative competence. From this perspective, grammar should be tagged not only as the end as itself, but has to help effective oral and written communication. Teaching on grammar involves not only the presentation and practice of a series of structures, but also as a detailed explanation of the meaning and the context in which those structures should be used. This is like every concept like is linked, and for this reason, it is said that good and complete teaching of grammar implies taking into account the form, the meaning, and function of the all of the grammatical units that we are understanding or putting in context in our classroom. If we want to have an expected a good and expected teaching of grammar, we have to use techniques that present it as something attractive for students, not only something like monotonous or lacking of interest. Linguistic then is a discipline which studies language. It focuses on describing language as a system of signs, words, expressions, and as well as its main points. Linguistic also refers to the way that the language has evolved along the time, but taking into account the phonetics and structures of formation of new words or new ways to communicate. Until here, it is necessary to say that there are two types of descriptive grammar. Uh, but what it is the set of rules about language and its use, and it is divided into the formal grammar and the functional grammar. I would like to say that formal grammar is the use of language to form mathematical or logical models and each element is going to belong to the rewriting of the characters from the sequence signs that can be expressed like in a line, and it is like the mathematical representation. Using this model, a sequence of categories can be formed and recognized. So I would like to say that grammar is a generator of language, but in the formal way. Yes, and then by the other hand, we have the functional grammar, which is the analysis of grammar focus on the function as a relationship between the vocabulary that takes part in a communicative context. And then it is like the understanding of the use of the grammar in interactions, in making a better relationship between the words and their communicative purpose. And then the functional grammar is essential as natural grammar, because everything in can be explained related to the new language in the interaction that come out as we were using it. And then grammar is one of the components of a language linked to the sound systems and the vocabulary. Because vocabulary have to be careful in how it's pronounced and used in grammatical constructions, because grammar is expressed to the words in the sound system, and all of this represented by writing. The problem here is not to include grammar in foreign language or not, but we need to know what kind of student do we have, where they are, how do they learn, and then in order to learn a foreign language, students must know or basic structures of the language. If they use it well, they don't have to describe it. They don't have to describe it, and they mastering in structures of English is easier than learning through speaking, reading and writing skill, because the rules and explanations are going to give them a clearer portrait of the grammar, but we have to contextualize that they are learning about. There is not an exact way to approach grammar, so the teacher have to determine how to discuss the grammar aspect when it is necessary in their class, depending of the part of the type of the pattern that grammar can be used. Here it is necessary to include the corpus linguistic as a system of study of the language expressed in corpora, which are examples of the real world usage. Corpus linguistic is more descriptive than prescriptive. There have been a lot of researches during the story about it. We can mention Krashen, who work on communicative aspect of grammar in an experiment, and we have also the works of Chomsky, who made some people to work only on the features of the language, and they were discovering that it was a more effective way to learn English in the practice. And by last, I would like to say that output practice is going to be essential for the benefit of English, because it's going to lead to the feedback which is necessary in order to prove that our students have understood that we try to teach. Then this is all of my participation, and I appreciate for your attention. Thanks a lot.